So here we have some other examples. For the first one, here is a different, this is an oxide, but here you have a phosphor, and phosphor is a non-metal, so this is an acid oxide, okay? So here you have to figure it out, what is the oxidation number for phosphor. And if you see the subscript that there are in the molecule, 2 correspond to the oxygen and 5 corresponds to the phosphor. So phosphor can be 3 positive and 5 positive. Here is working with the 5 one. So as we saw, you have to so as you saw in the last examples, when you are using the stock nomenclature, you have to write the Roman numeral for the positive one. So in this case, you will write phosphor 5 oxide because it's working with the 5 positive. For traditional, you have 2 options, and because it's using the biggest one, it will end in ic, phosphoric oxide. And for the systematic one, you will mention the number of atoms that each element have. So for the phosphor, you have 2, and oxygen, you have 5, so that will be D-phosphor pentaoxide. Okay, for the next example, if you see you have almost the same compound, but if you look this MnO4 in the list that you have on your periodic table, you will find that there are 2 different names for this. One is called manganate and the other one is called permanganate, okay? So here, the permanganate is working with an oxidation number of -1 and manganate with oxidation number of 2 negative. So in the first case, if you see and you know that potassium is working with a number of 1 positive, so because there is just 1 potassium, that means that this one is working with 1 negative. So this is the permanganate. Okay, so this leads to just 1 name for this one, and this is the stock one. So there's no traditional, there's no systematic name. So the name for this will be potassium permanganate. So if you see this following example, you will see that you have 1 again. And if you see the following example, you will see that MnO4 again. But here the difference is that there is 2. And if you see the following example, you will see MnO4. But the difference with this one that we have here, that we already did, is that there are 2 atoms of potassium. So that means that this one is working with 2 negative, because we know that this one is always 1 positive. So that means that this is manganate. You can look for this one on your periodic table and you will find on the list that this is called manganate. So there is no traditional for this, there is no systematic. The stock name for this will be potassium manganate, okay? And the last example of this one, you have HCl. Once again, if you see that a compound starts with an H, that means that that is an acid. If it doesn't have an O, the oxygen, so that means that that is an hydroacid. So there is just 1 name for this. You will write the word hydro, then the word of the other element, which is in this case chlorine, but you will write chlor, ic, and then acid. Okay, so hydrochloric acid. This word has to be all the time. You have to write the word acid.